So, since moving to Australia, I've discovered lots of really cool or new Australian words. So, I thought I would teach all of you some that I found really interesting so far to hear what you think about them. And I've made a little list. So, to start off, we're going to do this one. So, I've heard people call it globes, and what they mean is what I would call a light bulb. So I had a handyman over and he was saying that he pointed at one of the lights and he sort of said, "Oh, I need a new globe for this." And to me, a globe is one of those like spinny things that show the world that they had in geography class. So I just thought maybe he just loves geography, but from context, I realized he was talking about a light bulb. So yeah, that was something I didn't know before going to Australia. The next one is the word footpath. This one's really fun. So in the UK, we would call this the pavement, and in America, they call it the sidewalk. So it's the bit next to the road where you walk. Now, the reason this confused me the first time I heard it is because in the UK, a footpath is like a public hiking trail almost through a field or something like that. So it's kind of related, but not quite the same thing, which makes it like even more confusing. But that one was really interesting. This next one's I only literally found out the other day. So they call what we would call a traffic cone, they call them witches' hats in Australia, which is so funny. One of my neighbours said I need to get a witch's hat to like reserve my parking space. And I was like, what are they talking about? It's not Halloween. And then I realised it means traffic cone. Then there's this one. This is more about the pronunciation. So American Express, I would pronounce that Amex, whereas in Australia, I've heard people call it Amex. And the first time I heard that, I had no idea what they were talking about. So just something but then other people have said Amex, I'm not sure, but I've heard plenty of people also say Amex, which just sounds kind of funny to me. This next one, EFTPOS, is what they call a card machine. The first time someone said, "Oh, I've got an EFTPOS," I was like, what are you talking about? I had no idea, but what they mean is a card machine, and it means something to do, like it's an abbreviation for something. This one, snag, is sausage. So they say throw a snag on the barbie. That was really funny. I'd never heard that before. A bottle-o. This is another one of these Australian, they love putting O at the end of everything. So a bottle-o is what we would call an off-license, or in America, they would call it a liquor store. So if you want to buy alcohol in Australia, you have to go to a specific store. You can't just go to the supermarket. They're usually sort of next door to each other, but they're separate places, whereas in the UK, it's all one place. And then lastly, thongs is flip-flops. So when people say I need to put a thong on or thongs, in the UK, that is a type of underwear, so that is always very weird to me when I hear that, but I love it. It's super Australian, and I love the words here.